We have some bad news for most of the people in Florida because it looks as if we have been duped by a false promise on oil drilling.
Florida will be taken off the table.
Florida is obviously unique, and so for Floridians, we are not drilling off the coast of Florida.
A couple of years ago, the Trump administration revealed plans to open nearly all U.S. waters, including waters off Florida, to offshore drilling in 5 years. That sent shockwaves through Florida for 3 reasons. One, we launch space rockets off the East Coast and don't want solid rocket boosters smashing into oil rigs. 2, we run military training missions in the Eastern Gulf and rigs could interfere with military operations. And 3, a spill from one of those rigs could cripple Florida's economy. In that sense, our state is unique from the rest of the nation because we have more beaches than any other state. It makes our economy far more dependent on beach tourism. And as we saw from the Deepwater Horizon disaster, a spill could crush jobs and it could crater property values, which could also crater state revenues to pay for services we need. And that is why Republicans and Democrats in Florida overwhelmingly spoke out against this and reminded President Trump this could cost him dearly in last year's midterms. And that gave rise to the moment in which we may have been duped.
And so for Floridians, we are not drilling off the coast of Florida.
Trump's team diffused public outrage and helped Rick Scott win his Senate race by claiming to exempt Florida from drilling.
What was the deciding factor in taking Florida off the table? What shifted your opinion?
The governor.
Well, actually, Governor Scott had previously supported offshore drilling after the BP disaster, in fact, and he did not rule out allowing oil rigs within sight of Florida's beaches.
And you would support further exploration within Florida's waters?
What I've said all along is I believe we have to become energy independent. Offshore drilling is an option.
But Scott later said he was against it. And then Trump's team said Scott talked them into their pledge to exempt Florida. Again, that helped Scott get elected, and it diffused the public outcry against oil drilling in Florida and maybe undermine the push in Congress to pass a permanent moratorium for Florida. But all we really got in this was a pledge from Trump's Secretary of the Interior, Ryan Zinke, who may not have even had the green light from President Trump to make that pledge, who is now a former Trump official. And besides that, of course, pledges are not bound by law and can be easily broken and often are, no matter who's president.
Read my lips. No new taxes.
Then George Bush signed the second biggest tax increase in American history.
If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor, period.
They're going to have to make some choices, and they might end up having to switch doctors.
In this case, the pledge to exempt Florida from drilling began to unravel last year when other states started asking, what about us?
You took Florida off, and I'm suggesting I hope you do the same for Maine.
And that's when Zinke said, despite his pledge to not drill in Florida, no decisions had been made about oil drilling in Florida.
So I put Florida on, but Florida is still in the process.
And now Zinke's gone. The administration has not formally announced or released its oil drilling plan, but oil and gas sources told Politico that it does indeed include drilling in federal waters off the coast of Florida. If so, it is yet another example of politics in Washington and why you cannot always trust what they say.